very own WGN Evening News at 5.
The war in Ukraine took an ominous turn today as Russian forces are now occupying a nuclear plant after a firefight last night.
And thousands of Ukrainians continue to flee the country as Russia steps up its bombing campaign against civilian targets. And WGN's Jenna Barnes is joining us now with the very latest tonight. Jenna?
Well, the White House just announced Vice President Kamala Harris will travel to Poland and Romania next week. Those are two of the countries welcoming refugees from Ukraine, as the U.S. grants protective status to thousands of Ukrainians here.
We have to stand up now more than ever for the people of Ukraine.
Speaking from the Ukrainian National Museum in Chicago's Ukrainian Village, Senator Dick Durbin says 75,000 Ukrainians in the United States will be granted temporary protective status.
They will be allowed to stay 18 months without question. It can be renewed, but 18 months without question because of the war.
An estimated 1.2 million people have fled Ukraine in the 9 days since Russian President Vladimir Putin invaded the country, shelling civilian targets in what the U.S. has repeatedly called his war of choice.
Russia has never been so isolated. We have never been more united.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Brussels, meeting with European Union and NATO allies, as Russian troops attacked and seized control of the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, reportedly killing several employees. The fire at the site has been extinguished, and there's been no reported change in radiation levels.
The Kremlin should immediately cease all attacks around Ukrainian nuclear facilities and allow civilian personnel to do their work to ensure the facility's safety and security.
Blinken says the economic sanctions against Russia are working.
The ruble is trading at its weakest levels ever.
But amid calls for the world to do more, the U.S. says a no-fly zone in Ukraine is still a no-go.
The only way to actually implement something like a no-fly zone is to send NATO planes into Ukrainian airspace and to shoot down Russian planes, and that could lead to a full-fledged war in Europe.
And the Biden administration remains opposed to a ban on oil imported from Russia.
Reducing global oil supply would have an impact on the price of barrels of oil and ultimately gas prices. So that is our concern.
As they seek to minimize the sanctions' impact on Americans. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pleaded by video to Europeans in several major cities, asking them to speak up for Ukraine. Durbin calling on Russians to do the same.
The people of Russia need to stand up, show the courage to say this war is not what they want.
But getting information to people in Russia is becoming even more difficult. Today, the country blocked Facebook and Twitter, and Putin signed legislation that criminalizes spreading information about the war that differs from the Russian government position. The BBC and the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation both announced they're suspending their work in Russia because of that.